Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to re-evaluate my review of the Mark II Oppressor, and I am quite sorry to say that I was wrong. This thing is possibly the most overpowered vehicle in the game for a number of reasons. Not one helicopter stands a chance when you have a skillful pilot in the Mark II Oppressor, not even the Savage with the weird lock-on box and the explosive rounds. The Vigilante, Stromberg, Ruiner 2000 and Deluxo, they trade at best. But that will only result into the Mark II Oppressor being called in way faster 30 MC than any other vehicle. I shot down Hydras, Lasers, Starlins, Pyros, B11s all without any effort. In free aim, it is nearly impossible to shoot this thing down, cause it doesn't look crazy quick when you sit on it, but when you're facing it, you'll see how fast it actually moves. It is absolutely crazy. I even invited people over from the chat on my live stream to try and take me down. People were confident that they could take me down. But as soon as they were face to face with the Mark II Oppressor, you'll see how bleak it actually looks. So this video serves as an update to my previous video where I basically gave a first look in a single player environment. Now that I actually got to use it in an online session, things changed drastically. And I'm afraid to tell you, this thing actually broke GTA Online and is now the best friend of the griefer. Now before you type that people have said that about a million times in a million different ways in a million different videos about a million different vehicles, hear me out. So after all this time, I learned a handful of counters that somewhat work against the Mark II Oppressor, but none of them really matter. I'll first summarize the vehicle, then talk about the counters, then talk about why it broke GTA Online. So let's start at the beginning. In order to get the Mark II Oppressor fully operational, you need 3 things. 1. A nightclub, 2. A Terrobyte, 3. The Oppressor itself. In order to upgrade the Oppressor to have homing missiles, you will need the Terrobyte. In order to store the Terrobyte, you will need a nightclub. Once you have acquired all of that, you have 3 options: stock machine guns, explosive machine guns, or homing rockets. The stock machine guns are really bad. The explosive machine guns aren't super useful either, for they shoot really slow and it's hard to get a shot on your target. So the missiles are your strongest option. If you want to see them all in action, check out my previous video on the Mark II Oppressor. I also go over customization and all other basic information. So you have up to 20 missiles in the Mark II Oppressor. Now you would say that is pretty bad. But you can also call in a new Oppressor through the MC business. So if you run out of missiles, you'll be back in the air, fully loaded in no time. The same goes of course for when you get destroyed. And that is the most dangerous thing about this bike. Just like the normal Oppressor, you can spam it really easily. Now I still stand by one point: it is way easier to kill ground units with the normal Oppressor. The way you can shoot towards the sky and basically dive bomb them is easier than the weird angle you have to get on them with the diving downwards on the Mark II Oppressor. But as soon as you have the handle of that angle on the Mark II Oppressor, it truly is an unstoppable force. Like I said, no matter how good your aim is in free mode, it is nearly impossible to hit. Not per se because of its maneuverability, even though it is insanely quick. It's because of the slight desync in GTA Online lobbies. Whenever you're facing one of these, you will literally see it shoot around in a very weird manner. On stream I tried killing one and it was nearly impossible, except for one weapon. I'll go over that later. So let's actually begin with helicopters. I had my friends throw all sorts of helicopters against me in order to take me down, and not a single one prevailed. But like I said, the Savage put up the best fight easily. The only problem is with the Savage is how small the Oppressor is and how it shoots around. As soon as you get above the Savage with a Mark II Oppressor, the lock-on buff, well, it sort of less disappears because the rocket goes straight through the Oppressor and rockets dive right on top of the helicopter and it's GG. All the other helicopters simply just die as soon as you get a lock-on. Now ground units, the usual suspects, the Stromberg, Vigilante, Ruiner 2000, Deluxo. There are other vehicles as well, but believe me, I've faced the vast majority of them and these are the only 4 that can put up a decent fight. And like I said before, they trade at best. They both die and that's that. But then comes the Mark II Oppressor, who's back on the streets instantly. Out of all vehicles, the Stromberg is your best bet because of its armor. But with the Mark II Oppressor, you can spam rockets and it takes basically 2 spawns to take him out. And the Stromberg driver is in a world of ass whooping after that happened. You would argue that the Deluxo is a decent counter as well, but because of the countermeasures and the fact that you can outmaneuver it, the Oppressor will beat the Deluxo. And even if you do fail on the Oppressor Mark II, you can just simply call it back in through your MC and you're back on the road or in the sky. Now, we also tested this versus aircraft, and again, it's a world of hurt for everything. The downside of the planes is that they have to come straight towards the Mark II Oppressor in order to do damage. And that is their downfall as well. One rocket to the face and it's all over. They lose their maneuverability, which is definitely needed against the Mark II Oppressor. And not a single aircraft excels at killing this thing. The best dogfighters are useless for this because this is not a dogfight at all. There is no hitting this thing with the Starlin. The Pyro at some point will get caught in the crossfire of rockets as well. The Laser, the Hydra, all of them lose. So now it's actually time for some counters. There are a handful of things you can do against the Mark II that are somewhat effective, but will probably cause you to die a lot anyway. If you are on foot in a free aim session, don't use anything except for the minigun, or if you have basically god tier aim, the explosive sniper. The minigun requires a few bullets to hit the driver, the explosive one just one. The Mark II will start leaking oil and eventually just die. If you are in a normal session, use anything that locks on. The only problem you'll have, as soon as the player dies, he can recall the Mark II Oppressor and you're back at square one. So regardless, it is super annoying to face one of these. They're like mosquitoes buzzing around if a griefer has it in for you. The best counter in a vehicle is the Stromberg. The only downside is, as soon as you kill the Mark II Oppressor, he'll be back on your ass within the minute. He will kill you at some point and you will be screwed. The Vigilante, Ruiner 2000, Deluxo, they all go down easily, really. Again, the problem is not within the fact that you can kill him, the problem is in the fact that it's back on your ass within the minute, and you don't have that same luxury when you're in one of these ground vehicles. Now there are 3 counters on a plane. The first one is fly straight up to the sky and dive down with explosive rounds. The Mark II Oppressor cannot shoot directly up, so you'll have a free ticket to take him down. The second and probably the most effective counter against the Mark II Oppressor is the Avenger, with a gunner. That thing is quite fast, can dodge missiles, and can shoot the Mark II Oppressor out of the sky in one shot. The last one is a simple strat. Fly up to high altitude in a plane, that way you can outrun and outmaneuver the missiles while still being able to take shots yourself. The countermeasures make lock-on missiles nearly impossible, and besides that, the Mark II Oppressor can easily dodge missiles as well, so explosive rounds or cannons are your best bet. Lastly, as a helicopter, your best bet to take down the Mark II Oppressor is the Savage. It takes 3 missiles for the Oppressor to take it out. He needs to be above you to get the shot, so keep going up. Try keep the Oppressor below you so you can take the shot with the explosive cannons. It still remains really hard to get that shot though, because it's such a tiny vehicle. Now you want to know the very best strat against this vehicle? It's quite simple. Another Mark II Oppressor. All in all, the Mark II Oppressor is overpowered. Not per se in firepower, but the fact that you can spam this vehicle and outmaneuver the vast majority of other vehicles. It is simply in another league. It acts like a helicopter, with Deluxo missiles, with countermeasures, and agility that we've never seen before. If you are in this thing and people are on your ass, you can simply dive down to the ground and get a huge speed boost while on the ground. You can get away from anything. In a way, this thing actually broke GTA Online. No matter how you look at it, no matter what kind of strat Gilly or whoever comes up with, this thing messed up free mode for a lot of grinders and casual players. There is no running crates or doing jobs with one griefer flying this thing around in your session. And you will need to dedicate every single minute of your time trying to beat this thing. And even if you do kill it, you've never really beaten it because it's back on your ass in no time. It is so much more dangerous than the original Oppressor because of its maneuverability, because of the fact that you can hardly fall off this thing, and because it packs such a mean punch. The only way to truly beat this is to go in a solo public lobby. But to me, that is the most stupid thing ever. Rockstar forces you to glitch into a solo public lobby just because they fucked up the game so bad that it's unplayable whenever a griefer has it in for you. Now this is of course nothing new. We had the same sort of situation with the original Mark I Oppressor. I guess we're gonna call it Mark I Oppressor. But not to the same extent, because this thing can get on your ass way quicker than anything else and is really good at destroying, well, vehicles in general. To me, this was a very interesting video to make and a true eye-opener about GTA Online. I don't play GTA Online religiously. I check out new things that they added, I test vehicles, and that's about all I do. And this is the first time that I really spent a lot of time testing one particular video, and me, well, a quote-unquote noob at GTA Online, getting the upper hand on skilled players who dedicate a lot of time in this game in a wide variety of vehicles as well. That should not happen. So all in all, if this vehicle actually ends up in the hands of a griefer that wants to mess up your day, you are basically screwed. And there isn't a damn thing you can do about it except, well, dedicate all your time trying to shoot it out of the sky with another Mark II Oppressor. And even that, well, you won't get rid of him because he'll just be back on the streets within a minute. So the only thing you can do is, well, leave the session, find another one, and hope for the best that not another griefer is in that session who wants to mess up your day as well. Well, that's that. Thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe if you are new.